Oregon's Tualatin River, a watershed restored. The Tualatin River flows from the Coast Range to the Willamette near Portland, uniting the Oregon landscapes of forest, farmland, and cities. The Tualatin and its tributaries are the water of Washington County, valued for agriculture, drinking water, recreation, and wildlife habitat. The river's cleanup over the last 30 years is a nationally known success story. As we build on past successes, our continued commitment to clean water will translate into a healthier watershed and healthier communities.
We really have to look up on the landscape and all the land uses, what's happening there, both in the forested areas, the agricultural community, and the urban areas. There's approaches in each of those land uses to improve water quality, because all the rain that falls in the watershed ultimately makes its way to the creeks and the river.
Prior to Western settlement, the Tualatin watershed was a vibrant mix of grasslands, oak groves, and vast wetlands, and home to the Tualatin people. The valley floor was rapidly converted to farmland by European settlers, and the Tualatin River became renowned for its bounty of crayfish and eels. By the 1940s, the river was also much loved as a recreational destination. People traveled from Portland on weekends to picnic and swim at such resorts as Romer's Rest.
Kids from Portland were bussed out for their first swimming lessons that they took at Romer's Rest. It was just the place to go, and thousands of people came out here. As the water quality, though, started to degrade, that recreational resource was lost.
Washington County was transformed during the 1950s and 60s as suburban communities boomed and industry moved to the small towns of Beaverton, Tigard, and Hillsborough. The sewage treatment infrastructure to support these growing communities was lacking, and by the late 1960s, the Tualatin River and its tributaries had become a health hazard. Poorly treated sewage was discharging from 26 small treatment plants into neighborhood streams and the river itself. The state responded by imposing a building moratorium in Washington County until the problem was fixed.
Unified Sewerage Agency was created by a vote of the people in 1970 to unify all the small wastewater treatment plants in Washington County into a single system. With the construction of this facility here, the Rock Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant, and the Durham Advanced Wastewater Treatment Plant over in Tigard. Those two plants opened in the mid-70s, and immediately we started consolidating all these smaller plants into these single regional facilities. And it really was the first step in the recovery of the Tualatin River.
During the next decade, 24 small plants were consolidated into 2 state-of-the-art waste treatment facilities. This mammoth construction was funded by federal Clean Water Act grants and the largest bond issue that had ever been approved by a single county in Oregon. Within a decade, sewage treatment improved, and so did water quality in the river. However, the gains were short-lived.
By the mid-1980s, water quality in the lower river had begun to decline again, and this was really the result of population growth, urban runoff, and runoff from agriculture and forestry.
The citizens of Washington County and Clean Water Services responded to the challenge, moving to improve the health of the river through highly advanced wastewater treatment. Today, Clean Water Services treatment of wastewater is so advanced, the water that is returned to the river from their plants is some of the cleanest water in the basin.
The water that we release from this wastewater treatment plant is cleaner than the river itself and actually improves water quality in the river and provides for up to 1/3 of the flow in the summer.
Clean Water Services also manages urban runoff with a comprehensive surface water management utility. The utility improves water quality through street sweeping, erosion control, and improved design and construction standards for new developments in the basin. All of this hard work has posted clear results downstream.
You know, the community's investment in this river has really paid off for water quality, for fish, and for our ratepayers. You know, the days of algae mats on the river are gone, and people are really returning to this river. People are returning to canoe, fish are returning, and it's really become a recreational asset and a water quality asset for this entire community.
In the upper watershed, farmers and foresters are also doing their part to maintain water quality. Blueberry farmer Jim Love has planted grass between his blueberries to minimize runoff.
I think all of us that are working the land and engaged in farming have to minimize the impact on water, on what our activities are on the water quality.
The Oregon Department of Forestry is replacing old culverts to restore fish habitat in the upper watershed.
This was an old culvert that backed up water real bad, created some erosion problems, and was a barrier to fish passage. So we identified this as a real high priority fix, and this last summer we came in and removed those culverts and installed this bridge.
Further downstream, the infrastructure investment in clean water, coupled with water quality controls put on new development, has had clear results. According to Department of Environmental Quality Studies, the health of our urban streams is improving, even though the population of Washington County has increased by nearly 100,000 people in the last 10 years.
One of the most remarkable things is even as this basin has developed and people have moved into the basin, we've continued to see water quality improvements. We would have to go back to the 1930s to see the kind of water quality that we see now in the Tualatin Basin.